Welcome to Nice from Education, the largest producer of maps and globes in the United States. Welcome to Exploring Where and Why 101, Session 4, your literacy library for 4th grade. This is Miss Marcia. You've seen her before with our Exploring Where and Why literacy library. There are 12 books, both fiction and nonfiction, in your collection. Just as you learned in one of our earlier sessions, the best place to start is the teacher's guide. Your literacy library contains 12 books, fiction and nonfiction, and a host of lesson plans. The table of contents is where you will find a list of the books contained in your program. You'll also find recommendations as to which books are best used with which activity. For instance, you will notice that the book My America is recommended for many different places, an unusually high number of places, I must say. You have a lot of flexibility in where you wish to utilize this book and the other books in the program. This helps you if you are sharing resources, just another way that you and your colleagues can arrange resources without crowding one another. As you learned in our last session, Exploring Where and Why is a cross-curricular program. Teaching social studies through literature certainly is cross-curricular, but also provides ways to engage your students that incorporate other disciplines as seen here. Miss Marcia has decided to conduct 2 activities related to the book My America, a phonics lesson and a geography lesson. Let's start with a read aloud.
This next book is called My America, and it has poems in it. The poem I'm going to read to you today is called Idaho. What letter sound do you hear at the end of Idaho? Oh. I want you to listen real carefully and see if you can hear some other words that end in the letter O as I'm reading. Farmers out in Idaho plant potatoes row on row. Then before the green vine show, every farmer has to go. Daily hoeing with his hoe up and down the rows till lo, finally, the potatoes grow. This potato farmer knows what comes up must start below. What you reap, you have to sow. What you grow, you have to hoe. If you don't like farming, though, and you've never tried to hoe, or you hate to guide a hoe, or you can't abide a hoe, then stay away from Idaho. Did you hear any words that ended in O? What did you hear? Go, grow. What did you hear? Did she take your...
Miss Marcia's using the phonics lesson. Each line in the poem Idaho on page 53 ends with a long O. She had students list each of the rhyming words and then add 4 more of their own. Marcia read the book aloud to her students, and accentuated all the rhyming words that ended with the long O sound. As you can see, the students loved the book and were very engaged with being able to hear the sound and then form 4 more words that went with each of the rhyming words. Have you ever heard someone say, "It's raining cats and dogs"? I grew up hearing that phrase. So here's a great book for your students. Can it rain cats and dogs? As you can see, this book can be utilized in 3 different lessons. It's up to you to determine when to utilize the book. Miss Marcia has decided to utilize 2 of the lessons with her students. She will use the science activity and the critical thinking. Students here are using their physical features test map and their junior geographer atlases to process the difference in temperatures between 2 points according to the directions as part of their critical thinking activity. I'm sure that your students will enjoy the literacy library as much as you will. They'll enjoy learning that social studies and language arts live together. They don't live as separate disciplines, but they're intertwined. Thanks for joining us for Literacy Library. Well, you've come to our 4th and final session of Exploring Where and Why 101. Please complete the assignment you see here. Send it to me, and I'll be glad to give you some feedback and send you a certificate for 2 hours of CEUs. Just utilize one of the books from the Literacy Library, Take some photos of your students completing an activity and maybe some shots of the completed activities themselves and send them over to me at pgothart@nystromeducation.com. It's been my pleasure to be your host and your narrator. I hope you enjoy using your Exploring Where and Why program.